You see, the world, it's an unpredictable beast, always ready to tear your heart apart. Chew it 10 ways to Sunday. That's a guarantee, my friend. I can't even start to unravel the truth or the madness that brews inside myself and every other soul walking on this earth. The world of politicians, it's no different. They'll keep philandering, scheming, spinning webs of promises as fragile as a morning's dew. Your favorite politicians, the shining beacons of your ideals, one day they'll lose an election. It will be like watching a shooting star disappear before it even reaches the zenith of its glory, vanishing into the inky black of political obscurity. The light that once was your guiding force, it will dim, and then like that, it will be gone. And life, it has this funny habit of playing tricks on you, showing you a mirage of expectations only to let them evaporate the closer you get. Your dreams, your hopes, they might not always align with the hands you're dealt. Then there's the deafening roar of the corporate media, the woke influences. They can make you feel like you're just a whisper lost in the winds of change, drowned out by the voices they decide matter. It can make you feel small, insignificant, powerless even. But let me tell you this, as overwhelming as it gets, as disheartening as the journey might become, life always goes on. It always does. Politicians will rise and fall, dreams will morph and shift, and the noise, it will ebb and flow. But you will go on too. So put on that smile, hold on to it, let it be your armor, your charm, your beacon. Because it's not about how the world breaks your heart. It's about how you piece it back together, smile intact, ready to face another day. Life goes on and so will you. And so does this show. The show goes on despite getting fewer than 5,000 views. Let's globetrot for gossip. I'm Atul Mishra. Let's begin with Asia first. Pakistan, that wretched part of the world, it doesn't believe in doing half-ass two things. It prefers whole-ass one thing. And today, its inflation just crossed 37% mark. But scoundrels always have godfathers. IMF in this case, which is ready to bail this mess of a country. Wonder why the US loves Pakistan so much. Chinese and Russian military aircrafts casually entered South Korea's air defense identification zone in the south and east of the Korean peninsula, like two drunkards casually strolling in a new neighborhood. But I'm sure no amount of vodka that the Russian pilot might have consumed, and no amount of, what do the Chinese drink?
Dog soup.
Oh yeah, dog soup. Dog soup can give you a high so strong. So it was clearly a message to South Korea. You stop being US's lackey and we might let you fly one of these. Just 5 years ago, India held the third spot on the list of countries with high digital transactions. Today, it proudly claims the number one position, surpassing its nearest competitor, China, by a huge margin. India is now prepping to take a giant leap forward by phasing out the card-based transaction system entirely. With the introduction of India's United Payment Interface, or the UPI, the nation is propelling itself towards becoming not just a cashless society, but a cardless one as well. This transformation allows Indians to roam fearlessly without the constant worry of falling victim to theft. Although it's worth noting that we do tend to wear a lot of jewelry. Anyway, let's move to Europe. Polish President Andrzej Duda is a category A rascal. He switches sides whenever he pleases and sweet talks almost anyone to his ample bosom. This time he was ready to destroy Polish opposition, but Duda's dudism failed as Polish folks were out in the streets protesting the president. The chief opposition man, Donald Tusk, welcomed the Poles and said, "Democracy dies in silence, but you have raised your voice for democracy today. Silence is over. We will shout." Duda can try flashing his cleavage, but I'm sure that's not going to work. It seems as if there is some sort of crooked competition going on between the skinny rascal in the White House and the retired joker of Ukraine. Both are trying to outdo each other. Zelensky attacked the Zaporizhia nuclear plant, jeopardizing thousands of people's lives. Biden destroyed the Nord Stream pipeline, thereby starving the Europeans of oil and gas. And now Zelensky has destroyed the Kakhovka Dam in Russian-controlled area of southern Ukraine, unleashing a flood. There is a clear pattern and a clear winner in this competition. Both the competitors, that is, the skinny rascal and the retired joker, point their fingers at Moscow after the latest round of destruction and then get caught. The clear winner for now is the retired joker, but knowing the past and the present of the skinny rascal, I'm sure he will stage a grand comeback. EU loves democracy when it is in its favor. The moment democracy gives a lap dance to the opposition, EU acts like an average Black Lives Matter activist, confused and angry. Now that Hungary is set to take EU's presidency and Orban can initiate the beginning of the end of the liberal world order in Brussels, EU has a new plan. They will let Hungary have the presidency, but the opposition will lead EU rather than Orban's government. Talk about democracy and equality. So John is the husband of Democratica, but Smith will produce kids. Amazing setup. EU will penalize European nations with a fine of $10,000 per migrant for rejecting them. EU wants equal shares of migrants in every nation, but Eastern Europe just said, bring it on, which can be loosely translated to, send your migrants here, we will beat the shit out of them and won't give you a single fucking dime. Let's move to Africa. Marvelous. In Manifestation, a mighty message of hope modeled mysteriously as both mentor and marvel by the mercuriality of Mother Nature. This mere no mere masquerade of modesty is a memory of the multitude's mandate, now muted, missing. However, this magnificent memorandum of a maverick marks what matters most, might and mastery to manage their own moirai. M for Mbangwa, the mighty, the meticulous, a mortal in appearance, in mindset, a mountain. Well, that was my take on V for Vendetta. Well, if that went above your head, I don't blame you. It simply means that Zimbabwean president won't allow outsiders to meddle in Zimbabwean elections and will put people in jail for 20 years if they try to meddle. NATO's elite sanctions against Russia are backfiring everywhere, and in Africa they are a complete failure. Companies in Ghana are interested in assembling Russian UAZ vehicles. Negotiations are planned in Moscow within the next 2 months between companies from the West African country and Russia's UAZ manufacturer Solar's. So much for sanctions. Have you guys watched The Big Lebowski? I have, many times over, and seems like Namibian mining minister Mr. Tom Alwindo has too. He just went full dude on miners that deprive the government of Namibia's treasures. Tom Alwindo was like, look, let me explain something to you. I'm not an investor. You're the investor. I'm the Namibian. So that's what you call me. Or maybe he's Namibianus or Namib or El Namibareno if you know you're not into the whole brevity thing. And you got to give a part of your companies to me so that we can run the country for you. Might sound a bit communist, but considering how much natural wealth the nation has and how it gets looted, it seems like the need of the hour. Let's move to North America now. Joe Biden is a fit man, mentally and physically. He goes full reptile on aircraft stairs and rides coolly to the door. He talks like a savant, a poly-freaking math. He starts talking about something and then magically connects with some other thing and invents words like asufuti me hai on the way. He's a genius and a colossus. But people are fools. Biden wants to run in 2024 elections and people are busy making memes. Biden has lived more than a dozen lives combined. He has eaten the finest foods on private jets while the rest of us were deciding between fries and onion rings. So no one can lecture him about life and living or running. He has been living longer than anyone can possibly imagine, and he's still tripping and stuttering strong. Mike Pence of the rodent species is also on track to run for presidency. Mike Pence is staking his presidential hopes on Iowa as he launches a campaign for the Republican nomination for president. Pence is a hopeless kind of hopeful. Everyone deserves a shot at presidency, even rodent Pence. But imagine him challenging Trump. Trump will chew him alive and spit him in the bin of political oblivion. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. Tucker Carlson is literally living this quote. After divorcing Fox News, Carlson staged a comeback on Twitter, and boy, what a superb comeback that was. The first episode of his new show, Tucker on Twitter, went crazy viral and had garnered 100 million views while writing the script. This is going to make more right-wing influencers to make Musk's Twitter their first home. Big media's days are over, but it still doesn't realize it. Justin Trudeau was finding it hard to accept that China is the root cause behind the interference in Canadian politics, so he blamed India for the deplorable state of Canada. Canada accused India of meddling in their internal affairs. Well, Justin, if harboring Khalistani terrorists and Islamists is your internal affairs, then trust me, cutie, neutralizing them is our goddamn business. Well, there we have it. Another whirlwind trip around the globe right here on Globetrotting for Gossip. We have seen the power plays, the scandals, and the plots that would give even Shakespeare a run for his money. I will be back next Sunday with another rib-tickling episode of GFG. Take care.